10 years ago today, the first ever Idolmaster game hit Japan's arcades. He took the role of the idol's producer, and he trained them to become the very best. And though we don't really understand the arcade culture here in the West, the game was a huge success in Japan and arguably paved the way for the rise of the 2D idols. The Idolmaster is an adaptation of the third game titled The Idolmaster 2, where we follow 13 girls and the producer as they rise to the top and then how they deal with this newfound fame. Managing a cast of 13 main characters almost seems like an impossible task, yet the show managed to structure itself to accommodate this into its 25 episodes. Each girl has a dedicated episode where they decide to do slice of life things, such as rescue pets or find the missing pudding. This can make for some great humour in some of the one-off episodes, like when Ami and Mami turn all LA Noir on us. The wide array of girls and archetypes result in some amazing dialogue between the characters, yet this can be a negative sometimes as some of the characters simply don't work well together, though this is mostly avoided. We also have some very serious moments as various problems arise for our girls. The majority of this serious focus is put onto the three main girls, Haruka, Miki and Chihaya, who all have multiple episodes to their name. These three girls are not only the hosts of 765 Pro's TV show, but also they develop massively throughout the series. I think the choice the directors made to just have these three girls embody the rest of the cast was a good idea. After all, the message of the show is that growth comes from working together, and as such, even the solo episodes all work towards growing the entire cast. Miki begins as this character who doesn't know what to do. She puts on this act of being a perfect idol, when in reality, she is almost clueless. This is the first major hurdle for the group, and due to Miki as a character being rather a drama queen, it did seem a bit more dramatic than it really was. However, once the show had built up more, every episode after the halfway point was outstanding. The use of foreshadowing up to Chihaya's episodes was great, and to see her character go through these real life struggles is not something you'd expect in your average slice of life music show. And once we finally get to Haruka's episodes, I became so invested in the group, and though Chihaya's episodes are very sad, Haruka's struggle was the hardest for me. Haruka as a character loved and helped everyone in the group, helping both Miki and Chihaya in their arcs, and then to see her lose hope in everything was just heart-wrenching. And when the Idolmaster does sad, it really goes for it. Tears were definitely swelling up in my eyes by the end. I'd recommend watching the series just for this payoff, as the fantastic pacing of the light-hearted episodes with foreshadowing ready for the fallout is just amazing. However, there is a character that does need to be talked about in depth, and that is Producer-kun. Adaptations of visual novels and simulation games tend to have a really lacking male protagonist, and when adapting from a game where the player is this producer, that could easily happen. Yet I'm glad to say that it isn't the case. The producer is a beginner and as such learns alongside the girls. At the start of the series, he does seem to be a bit out of place and obnoxious in scenes where you wish it was just the girls. However, as the series progresses, we still see the same amount of him, but in the viewer's eyes, he takes a backseat role. I think this was the best idea, as the development of him is just as necessary as the girls, and showing him taking a backseat as the girls become professionals was a good choice. The synergy of the producer and all 13 girls carried by the main three all come together to create this one group with one goal which the viewer can get behind, and even when the slow descent in the second half to more darker tones with themes of death, illness and insanity, the group have to try and overcome it. The mood and atmosphere of the Idolmaster was something that had to be done right, and be it quick cuts for comedy or slow continuous panning shots to build tension for serious moments, the Idolmaster managed to portray all the necessary emotions perfectly. The soundtrack was amazing, as it featured upbeat songs with some directly remastered from the game's background music, as well as some of my favourite tracks being piano or generally mellow versions of some of the best insert songs. And as for the insert songs themselves, they were in an abundance, which I think is necessary for an idol show and is unmatched by any other music anime. The minimum an episode will have is one insert song in a sort of music video style. Sometimes these were new and other times they were from the franchise's already 6-year backlog, but a lot of the time 3 songs was the average, or in the case of episode 13, the mid-series finale, it had 12 insert songs, as well as the ending, which, by the way, was a different song and animation each episode. The entire production itself was just fantastic. The redesigns of the girls from the games looked great, and were even picked up as the main designers in all merchandise shortly after the anime. With the show being animated by A1 Pictures, you may expect there to be ups and downs in quality. However, this series has a story behind it. The small team originally working on it quickly grew as many animators and episode directors brought their friends on board to work on the show, as many enjoyed it so much. It quickly became a passion project for many animators, with each scene animated brought to the viewers with lots of love and attention, something that's almost impossible to ever truly replicate. Overall, the message of working and growing together as a team to help your own endeavors really resonated with me as a video creator, and clearly with the production team behind the show too. The characters are all fantastic to the point at which it's impossible for me to choose a favourite. The mass amount of music as well as the entire production was exceptional and arguably A1's best. It's impossible for me to truly cover everything that's amazing about Idolmaster, such as the rivalry with Jupiter, the use of the openings and endings as foreshadowing methods, or even the interwoven universe with cameos from various characters and references in the franchise. This show just has too much to fit into one video. The Idolmaster has become an instant favourite of mine. It had amazing dramatic moments which were truly emotional, unlike other slice of life moe shows, and any problems it did have became devoid thanks to the wonderful journey of 765 from the bottom to the top.